Nobody tells you when you move to England, speaking English is actually the easier part. That is everything else that will get you. I lived in Yorkshire for 8-9 years now, and I basically did all these things that somehow offend or annoy people that I will suggest not to do. Hi everyone, I'm Winnie. Today, I would like to talk about 7 ways to annoy British people. The first one is the vocabulary. In Taiwan, we learn American English, and in the UK, they obviously do the proper English. The one that got me when I first moved here was I was trying to get a sweater because it was colder than I expected, so I was looking for a sweater and I can't find any. But what you should look for is a jumper, and yeah, they call it jumper here. Other vocabularies that you should be careful for are chips and crisps. You might generally get the wrong stuff, but they will be quite understanding because there are a lot of international students and internet people from all around the world here. So this is just sometimes a bit annoying, but it's not like a boom things that they'll absolutely hate. And the second one is sports. Well, people are very into sports, similar to how Taiwanese people are into baseball and basketball, but there's football is a big one here, and also rugby and cricket, for example. And you absolutely shouldn't talk to them about the wrong thing, and you absolutely shouldn't call soccer. I got a bit nervous saying that out loud now, but obviously in Taiwan and also in Japan, the sport we call soccer, similar to how American call it, but similar to the vocabulary things, you should not call it soccer. If you call crisp fries and all other things, that should be kind of fine. But if you call football soccer, they will absolutely get really annoyed, especially if they are football fans. You also shouldn't talk about like the English Three Lions to Scottish or Welsh people because they have their own team. It doesn't mean anything if you say congratulations, your country win the World Cup or Euro Cup or anything. Not their team. They don't support them. So just be careful of that, because I work in retail. It's actually quite interesting that we'll really avoid talking about the Three Lions to our Scottish audience. For example, it's some tension that if Three Lions lose, sometimes Scottish will celebrate in Scotland. It's that kind of tension, so absolutely do not mention it. And also, like, Manchester United is really popular internationally. But in the UK, they are not really they don't have that many local supporters. Funnily, in Manchester locals support Manchester City, not Manchester United, and they kind of hate each other. And same with in Leeds. Leeds support Leeds United. Leeds. So they absolutely do not like Manchester United. I learned a lot of swear words from my colleagues when they talk about Manchester United when they support Leeds United. So football and like sports is kind of where people are genuinely proud of their team. The safest way is just to ask like what team they support, and you can start talking about it. The third part is Disney. Like in Taiwan, I personally am a huge Disney fan. Like huge Disney fan. I have a lot of Disney collections, and I grew up with Disney princess. In Taiwan, we absolutely love Disney as well. It's like a very iconic thing in general in East Asia. But here in the UK, I heard multiple times from my friends saying that their husband absolutely hate anything to do with Disney. Their children are not allowed to watch Disney princess films. I'm like, what? Not even Frozen? What do they talk to with their friends at school? Yeah, they kind of relax if they go to school, but like a lot of British people not a fan of American media influence. American in general is perceived as quite friendly. They'll being very smiley and enthusiastic. English people find it pretty weird if you are over friendly with them. I genuinely love Disney, so I was really surprised. Disney have a lot of shows in the UK, and I can see a lot of supporters and fans for sure. But yeah, a group of British people then don't show Disney things to them, don't bring Disney princessy things to their house, even they have a daughter, don't like that. And that nicely lead to the fourth thing that kind of annoyed them is being too smiley and enthusiastic. I think I am kind of the awkward smile person. If I am in a situation, I will usually smile. And I remember I was a customer assistant in John Lewis, and one day my colleague asked me, "Why are you always smiling?" Like, huh? Like what? Then she's like, "Oh, I love your smile. Your smile is really infectious, but why are you always smiling?" I was genuinely like surprised when she said that. I was like, so I don't really know what other face I should put on if I'm not smiling. Like, do I just look serious? And yeah, I guess it's more of the over friendly way that they kind of throw them off. They're like, "We're not friends. Why are you so friendly?" So they maintain like a level of politeness, and they in general is like friendly or polite, but it shouldn't be like you don't really chat to people that you don't know in a supermarket, etc. It's considering what do you want from me. The fifth one that I guess my audience who live in Yorkshire might be really resonating with this one is doing the tea wrong. I remember like when I was still going to the office in Leeds city centre, there's usually a tea counter that you can make tea together, and we'd like to go as a group so that you chat to each other and things. The first few weeks I make teas there, obviously, there's a very outrageous videos about American women making tea with microwave. I'm not so bad. I just didn't make the tea as brewed as a proper cuppa. I add too much milk in there because, Taiwanese, we like milk tea. But British tea is not like they drink tea with milk, but not milk tea. You have to actually make the tea right. Or my colleagues are, "What are you doing? You're not making a proper cuppa." And they teach me how to make a proper cup of tea. And the color is very specific. Not too bright, not too dark. And you have to drink Yorkshire tea in Yorkshire. PG twinning, nah. Yorkshire tea from Heritage. The sixth thing that annoy people is a little bit of the sensitive one, and I still find very interesting is the accent and the class. When I started my first job here in the UK, that people talk about like what school they go to and stuff and which area they are from, and we as outsider, I'm from Taiwan, I'm not fit into these questions, but they probably grill each other about which school, like whether it's private or state school that they study in. And I work with a lot of Geordie and a lot of people from Yorkshire. You can actually tell from their accent that how strong it is, like to kind of know that what background they might come from. And not everyone here in the UK speak like the Queen's English. I consider proper posh. My friends in Taiwan always tell me that my fiancé speak like British English. They sound very fancy. I'm like, no, he speak Mancunian. The accent is slightly different to what people not from the UK to imagine how it's gonna be like. I genuinely love all the accents that I heard here, and like Cockney accents, Scousers, and all these different ones. I found them very interesting, but you absolutely shouldn't make fun of them or try to imitate their accent. It's considered quite rude, like how you shouldn't imitate that Indian accent, for example, even though there is characteristics in the way that they speak. And and then you will be able to tell that which class they potentially are from their accent. But one thing that I found quite interesting is that people here don't really like to be told they are posh, or if they considering themselves like working class, middle class, and you make comments like that, then they might be offended. The last thing that you will genuinely offend or annoy people. I briefly mentioned in the sports part, but the dynamics between English, Scottish, and Welsh that you better not get it wrong. My family don't speak English, so they sometimes, when they think about the UK, they only think about England. And there are tons of different other places that in England, not London, similar to if it's in the UK, there's Scotland and Wales as well, and they all have their pride in the place that they are from. I think people here in Yorkshire knows this the best, because sometimes I found quite annoying if I say that I live in Yorkshire and people not really knowing where it is, then I will have to say kind of near Manchester. And yeah, if you are from Yorkshire, you probably will be quite annoyed that you have to say it that way. It's such a beautiful place, but sometimes you have to explain where it is. Manchester kind of is a little bit more famous. I understand it as I am from a village in Taiwan, not even people from Taiwan will hear about it, so I would have to say that a neighboring town that is a little bit more famous, but I absolutely would love to, if I say Yorkshire, people will know what it is. I wish more people will know about Yorkshire and would love to visit Yorkshire. I think my mom said that Yorkshire is her favorite part of the UK when she last visited me. She wasn't such a fan of London and other places. Yorkshire it is. She enjoyed it a lot. So, 7 ways to annoy English or British people in general. All learn the hard way. If you're an expat living in the UK and you've done any of this, you are not alone. In your English, I'm sorry, I'm still learning. And if you can think of any other ways that people might say or do to annoy you, please leave below in the comments so we are aware and don't do it anymore. If you like today's video, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share my video. I upload every Thursday afternoon, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.